Hey, you! I'm your nutrition coach. My name is Jackie Poole. Welcome to Happiness is a Healthier Habit. Let's get today's episode started. Happy Tuesday, my lovely moms and ladies out there. I'm glad you're joining me today. Welcome back to the show. If you're like me, you know that this time can feel like a total whirlwind. I'm not big on holiday shopping, but I do like attending a couple of Christmas events. We just finished soccer. This weekend was literally driving for hours back and forth to Round Rock. And so we live in Kyle, so it's like about a little bit less than an hour. And we were literally there all day Sunday. And so we have other things. I mean, I love baking. I love cooking cookies, trying all the Christmassy holiday things that I can do with the kids. And so I'll just get through the holidays and I'll focus on me. Can sound very familiar, right? Like, we just got to get through this and we'll figure it out. A lot of people, when I get like discovery calls, are like, I'll just wait till January so I can really get going. But today I want to kind of flip that script, right? And share why waiting until January might actually not be a good idea. It might hurt you more than help you, right? And so why starting even in like small habits now can really set you up for a better holiday season and really get you going stronger for a new year, right? So this episode is going to be all about creating that momentum, ditching that all or nothing mindset, and learning how to take care of you even when your to-do list might feel like it's never ending. And so the first thing that I want to talk about is really that mom guilt and someday and that mentality, right? Sometimes we really want to force ourselves to have this mom guilt, right? That we carry around and let that be the excuse because it's real. It's something that we feel and we tell ourselves, my kids need me. I'll focus on myself, later once, I'm done with everything, and that everything is never actually done, right? That to-do list is never ending. And so the truth here is the best thing you can do to give your family a healthier, happier version of you, and that starts by taking those small steps for yourself right now. Not later, not someday, not tomorrow, not Monday, like today. I always like to say, if we wait for the perfect time, we'll be waiting forever, right? Like, don't wait till you're in your lowest moment. Don't wait till it's the perfect time. Life is never going to be perfect. Life is never going to slow down. For me, the kids are growing. They're wanting to be in activities. They want to do more as they grow older. They have more things than just the little activities that we have now. And I definitely learned that this soccer season with us just finishing this past Sunday. We started the first week, I think, of August, and we finished in December. So that's literally 5 months. And our coach just messaged us and told us we start January 7th. So that's just one child of mine. So I cannot think about having multiple kids, multiple things. But if you can do it in this hard time, what better way to do it now, right? When it's super hard, really difficult with support. So here's the good news. You don't have to overhaul. You don't have to do everything, overnight. Just taking really small steps to make differences. even during, again, this crazy season. And so ditch the mom guilt. Easier said than done. Talk to yourself positively. I love incorporating affirmations, journaling, reading before bed, those kind of things that really are going to improve my mindset, my mentality on how I go about treating myself and how I go about these beliefs that might be creeping up that actually might not be true. So keep that in mind. So mom guilt was the first thing that I wanted to talk about. The next thing that I wanted to point out was, which I kind of touched a little bit based on this, was why the holidays are actually the perfect time. So again, starting your wellness journey or health journey doesn't mean you're going to be, doing a diet, not indulging in the Christmas things, like not having a good time. Like, I think that's what people maybe think about it, but it might sound like it's really going to be hard, it's impossible. But again, it's the best time to start because this is when we need it the most. So think about how much energy it takes to juggle like all the things, all the holiday events. You want to feel better, right? Like a lot of moms tell me, like, I want to feel more energy. I want to be able to keep up with everything. And I feel sluggish. I feel fatigue. I'm constantly having all these cravings. And so I'm crashing during the day. Like I'm overindulging in the treats. Like all of these things I hear, right? And so December is literally filled with all of these things anyways, with sleeping late, the events, the office parties, the constant treats being available like 24/7, right? So why not build those healthy habits during this busiest time of year? You can build them anytime, but it's really building this kind of like muscle. It doesn't have to be all or nothing, but if you can do it now, imagine how much easier it will feel when life slows you down a bit in January, right? Because right now is go, go, go. And then it kind of like really dies down in January. Or for some people, right? I know for like us, there's a lot of, parties and things like that. I'm not where my family is, but that used to be a thing. So it's like never ending. And lastly, I kind of wanted to also point out when people say they're going to wait till January, it really brings like, okay, all or nothing mentality again, right? We tend to kind of burn ourselves out. So I want you to hear me out, and I want to remind you to kind of like help you out in avoiding that January burnout. Because we've all seen it, or maybe like when I used to go to the gym, like January was so full, so crowded. Like, thank God I would go like at 4 a.m. because you couldn't walk through there like at 5 o'clock. Like you did not want to be there. You couldn't find machines. For me, it wasn't enjoyable. Like it was chaos. And so that's when everybody's doing it too. And they do all the things. They are working out like 6 days a week and eating super clean. And all of a sudden, it can feel like your goals may be really big, feel really overwhelmed, that you are doing way too much and you can't keep up with all of the things that you're doing. And by the time February rolls around, you're pretty much burnt out. And so, especially for my moms, that's extra hard because life doesn't just stop, right? We keep going. There's always things that we have to do. And you wouldn't want to constantly like, oh, I'm tired, I'm gonna stop. We don't have that luxury, I think, as moms. Like even when we get sick, or if you like get sick, like you're still on the go. Luckily, we don't get sick in our family. And I'm always proud to say that. But life doesn't pause. So for you to go to the gym like 6 days a week and prep fancy meals like every Sunday, and it can be really hard. So why not start by getting in those tiny little steps, like those baby steps, right? You're giving yourself a head start. You're saying, I'm not waiting for a clean slate. My journey doesn't need a new one. It's better just to keep going, keep moving forward, instead of stopping and starting over and stopping and starting over. Because every time you start over, like for me, I think it gets harder to like, oh, I have to restart, because we have those thoughts of like, well, I didn't do it the last time. I think we kind of convince ourselves like, well, I'm just going to see. And we don't really fully commit to ourselves. So when we aren't committing to what we said we did, we find that proof, well, it didn't work out last time. I'm just not going to do it this time either. So why do I even bother trying? Like, those thoughts are real and legit. And so when that happens, that starting over, you, instead of doing that, is just taking the scenic route. Take your time, taking those baby steps. You'll be building on the progress that you've already made, instead of always taking like 4 steps backwards and 1 step forward, right? And so with that being said, I want to leave you with some practical tips today. Some things that you can really work on for the rest of December that will get you back on track, and that you can actually do, because I know what you're thinking, like, I don't have time, and I get it. But remember, starting doesn't mean adding more to your plate. And so I actually had a client just signed up this month, and I'm so proud of her, because she doesn't have kids, but her schedule is packed. She's a business owner. She is having multiple jobs. Like, she is doing all the things. And so she doesn't have a lot of time to really cater to any additional ones. But when you start taking care of yourself and you really want to hold yourself accountable, like, you pay somebody to be there for you, whatever it takes, right? And so, again, I just want to remind you, it's about not adding more to your plate, but really being intentional with the small things that you do, the shifts that you make to fit into your busy lifestyle, right? It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be impossible, but there has to be some type of change for you to change. So here are the few things that really can hone on for this December. Number 1, your secret weapon here is for busy moms. Please don't forget to drink water. It's cold outside. We're not as thirsty. Please carry around your water. Set a, goal for yourself. Like, I'm going to drink this much water every day, or, get yourself a nice cute mug, whatever, to get you to that goal. When we stay hydrated, most likely you are dehydrated. And so if you're feeling tired, fatigued, sleepy, like, get yourself some water, maybe add a little bit of electrolytes to help you if you're sticking to whole foods, just to give you that boost of energy, right? The majority of reason why people feel tired and without energy and sluggish is probably because they're missing some water intake. So it really makes a huge difference when we stay hydrated, especially during this season when we're having a hard time drinking water. And I noticed this even with my son. He's like, I don't get as thirsty while I'm playing out in the field, and I haven't drank water any because I haven't been thirsty. But we kind of have to remind ourselves, like, our body needs water, and it's going to be beneficial for us to pretty much at the cellular level, right? So we got to make sure that, number 1, we are staying hydrated. Number 2 is sneak in some movements. You don't need to do the hour-long workouts, right? Do some squats while you're folding laundry, or stretch while you're watching, the holiday movie. We do Fun Friday movies, like pretty much every Christmas movie that you can think of. We love turning them on at this time. Just, walk around before it starts. Or even like today, I walked to the gym. I drove to the gym. That's way too far of a walk. But I drove to the gym and I park the furthest I can, because I'm not just going to be doing my 30-minute walking session. Like, I want to make sure that I'm getting steps throughout the day, which is going to be more beneficial for you in the long run anyways. So sneak in some movement however you can. Number 3 would be kind of upgrade your holiday meals, right? Add a couple more veggies, swap out some sugary snacks for nuts, or, really make it a point to grab fruit instead of, Skittles or Starbucks. Like, really be conscious about just making those small changes that really aim for balance, right? Because if you opt for those things while you're on the run, it's just going to be easier for you when you're taking your time and doing things to actually be conscious about those decisions. And lastly, I'm going to, which is my favorite, is really set a bedtime routine. I know moms stay up a little bit late. Right now, during the holidays, we're doing the scrolling online, maybe doing the gift wrapping while the kids are sleeping and, doing the things. But, really setting aside 10 minutes to wind down, like with a small cup of tea, journaling, a quick meditation, a gratitude practice, to really set that sleep kind of routine. And it's really the perfect ultimate self-care act that you can do. It's free, it's cheap, it's just getting into the habit of doing that, right? And so that would be my number 1, if anything, because really sleep affects everything you do on a daily basis. So I just want to remind you that here's something else to think about during the holidays. When you prioritize your health, like, you're really modeling those habits for your kids. They see you moving your body, they see you choosing better foods and taking care of your, health. And that's really something that's going to stay with them, right? That's something that's going to go beyond the holidays, not just during this time. And one of the best things I've learned as a mom is that self-care isn't selfish. It's necessary. So you can't pour from an empty cup, and your kids really would thrive when you're thriving too. So keep that in mind, because they are, of course, our number 1 thing that we think about, and they see you, and sometimes they're going to do what they see instead of what you tell them, right? So it's easier for you to act upon those things as well. And with that being said, my friend, thank you for being here. Let's wrap this up. The takeaway here is, don't wait till January to take care of yourself. Your health and wellness deserve more than just that regular yearly resolution, right? It deserves your commitment of thinking about yourself and starting today, even with the chaos, even if it feels hard, even if you don't feel like it, because that's when you need to do it the most. And so make the small, meaningful changes that are really going to set you up for success. So go through, the tips that we talked about today and see which ones you can implement now. And remember, you don't have to do it all. Just do something, and trust me, it's going to add up. So if this episode inspired you, I'd love for you to hear it and, tell me about it. Send me a message or share this episode with another mom who might think that they need this reminder, and she's worth it too. Don't forget to tune in next week.